Here I will explain your CZone control panel that you will get in the 500 and in the 700 series. The monitor is quite simple. So you've got two main pages. The screen is touchscreen, screen 1 and screen 2. The first screen basically is showing you all the power circuits that you can control. So for example, you have 3 light circuits. You can leave them all activated if you like, and then use the light switches to turn the lights on and off, or you can actually cut power to each of them and cut all lights out this way. So here you have first your ceiling lights. I will turn them now on. As you can see, if they're turned on, a blue ring will appear, and that means that there's now power to all the ceiling lights, which will be your round overhead lights. So it's an easy way, rather than to have this on and use the light switches, you can just cut power to them and they'll all turn off. It's a quick and simple and easy way if you would like to go for a quick walk and you don't want to go to all the different light switches, or if you actually arrive at home and you want to power it down, you turn all the lights off like that. You can also dim those ceiling lights. The way to dim them is to just press and hold. A box will appear, and then you can dim your ceiling lights all the way down or midway, and then you touch the screen on the side. So now you actually see that the blue light is only going halfway. So that is an indication that you have your ceiling lights on half dim. I'm going to turn them back up again to maximum. Next you have your mood lighting. That's all your LED surrounds that you will have, and it's the same principle. You can turn the mood lights on and then use the light switches to turn them on and off, or control them by cutting power to the mood lights. They're also dimmable by press and hold, max brightness half, and again you will see the blue light is only coming halfway, so you know how much you have them dimmed. Press and hold, and I'll make them all bright again. And last but not least is all other lights, and these are your reading lights and all other night lights you have. Once you turn them on, those little reading lights you have everywhere, they are dimmable at the lights itself, which will be covered in a different section. So for now I will only explain how the circuit works. So since they are dotted everywhere in your motorhome and they all have their individual lights, those little reading lights, it's really easy and very practical to turn them off with one switch, which will be here. So you know when it's gray, it's got no blue light, the circuit is basically not activated, and then you turn them on. The next function is the accessories. Accessories is your USB. I'm just turning this off so you can see the lights better. You see the video better. So the accessories, you will have the USB and USB-C charging points that are powered to this circuit, and then also your wireless charging pads, which will be on either side of your bed. So very important, if you plug a device in, like a phone, or if you put it on your wireless charging pad overnight, then make sure that your accessories are on. Next button is the entertainment. That is your TV and your radio. So make sure that is on if you want to watch TV or if you want to listen to the radio. Next one is your water pump. So you can leave the water pump on all the time. Or just turn the water pump on when you're actually wanting to run water. It is up to you how often and how you actually use this panel if you you know, like to have quite a lot of things on all the time and then use the switches, or if you actually utilize the quick and easy way of turning things on and off via the panel. Next is drawer locks. I have now locked your drawers. So every time you're starting the engine, the drawers will automatically lock. However, it's always advisable that you double check that all your drawers have actually engaged and are closed, and therefore are then also locked. So when you stop the car and you pull the key out of the ignition, they will stay locked. That is in place to prevent the drawers to come open if you have to park on a slope. So this is the first thing you do when you arrive at a campsite. You have to unlock your drawers. You have here the range hood oven. The range hood and oven basically need to be on if you're cooking. It operates the oven light, it operates the ignition key, the gas ignition switch, and also your extractor fan. The next one here is the macerator, which is a little bit misleading as it is not really a macerator. So this has to do with the draining of the black tank and the gray tank. So when you basically flush your black tank, through the flushing, everything will be macerated. The macerator sits within the toilet unit. It will then go into your black tank. Now, when you are draining your black tank and the black tank is then empty, which is very important, you would then push the macerator button to basically open the valve between the gray tank and the black tank and activate the pump. So if you want to drain the gray tank through the black, which is quick and easy, you don't have to use two hoses separately. You make sure the black tank is emptied first, then you push the macerator button, the gray tank, the gray water will then run through your black tank until it's empty. And then it's important, once everything is drained out, that you turn the macerator button off. Please don't activate the macerator when both tanks are full. You may flood the tanks. Next one is the inverter. So the inverter is also your charger in your battery locker, but we have added a button or circuit for the inverter. So see that as well. When you don't touch it, after a minute it will basically go blank, and then you just touch it again, it will spring back to life. So your inverter, we want you to be conscious about when you're using power on the inverter. It is very easy to forget that you're not plugged into power, you're off-grid somewhere, you've got very bad weather, you're waiting out a storm on the weekend, so you're not driving. We don't want you to forget that you're not plugged in and use your inverter heavily and then run out of power. So every time you use your inverter, you turn it on. And then when you're finished using your inverter, we want you to turn it off. Both the inverter circuit on and the drawer locks on use a lot of power when they run on standby. So I want you at all times, make sure when you don't use any of them, especially in storage as well. When you have it stored at home, there's no need for the drawer locks to be on if you're fairly level. So always make sure that the drawer locks are off and the inverter is off. Both of them are very power hungry and will consume a lot of amps when you're basically on standby. If this panel is not bright enough for you, you can make it brighter. You see a little gray bar here, so you go with your finger up, you see a little backlight level box again, and then you can go half dim, and now it is not as bright. I do recommend having it on bright because you see it much better during the day, and because it will time out after a minute, it doesn't really matter that much that it is on super bright. It would be a different matter if it would be constantly on. Now if you have a few circuits on now and you want to no, not the entertainment, then the radio will go on. So if you have quite a lot of things on and you would like to lock it up, you come from your holiday, you've got a few things on and you just want to shut down and go outside, then you can also, rather than turning them all off one by one, you can press and hold all off. Sometimes you have to just apply the right pressure. That's it, all off. So everything is off now. All the circuits are off. So that's also a nice and easy way to finish up. Press all off and then all the circuits are down. And then when you come back in, you need to manually do all the circuits and wake them up again, whichever ones you like. On the second page, you get your information on battery levels and tank levels, and also how much solar you're making. So you have first, if you click this, that's your vehicle battery. So that is your Iveco starter battery. It's currently on 12.25 volts. So you can monitor your battery. So you have to remember that your house battery will not trickle charge your starter battery. They cannot be matched, as one is lithium and one is AGM. So that means if you are having it on your driveway for a long time, you're not going on a holiday for a while, then your vehicle battery will need a regular turnover, or you would need to get an external charger for your engine battery. Here you see your house battery. So this here is a 460 amp lithium. You have 368 amps usable, which is your 100%. The rest of the capacity will stay within the battery that you cannot use. So we let you use basically 80% of the battery, which is your 100. The reason for that is, if you would drain a lithium all the way down to 0, it is not very good for your life cycles on the lifespan of your battery. And second, you would need a technician to come and reconnect your power system to your battery. And of course, this is very inconvenient and we don't want that to happen. So when the battery will reach its limit, it will give you a good warning. It will give you warning in between as well. It will let you constantly know how you're doing with your battery. It will then cut off. It will basically automatically disconnect your battery from the charger. So no more charge can be drawn out of your battery. And I will do a separate video on the Mastervolt battery locker. And there you will see what you need to do if that happens. Here you have your main starter. That is some data on voltage that you will get when you plugged into mains, which I'm currently not. This here is your solar intake. So you have a 60 amp solar charger. So you see currently you're getting 3 amps in, 3.1 through solar alone. That might not seem a lot, but that is because your battery is 100% full. So you can't actually get more amps in, as you haven't got the capacity to store them. But this is a nice and easy way to constantly see how many amps coming in through solar. Here you have your fresh tank, which is currently on 53.7%. So you have 400 liters capacity. It will also give you a warning if your fresh tank levels are getting low. And last but not least, you have the grey tank. So you have 300 liters capacity of grey, and again it will also give you warning when the tank level is getting too high. So it is really simple. The real complex and complicated technology happens within the battery system. We don't need to deal with that. The power system is dealing to that. So the control panel is made for easy operation. You also have a little bit of more information which you can access either by pushing this box or by sliding from the left to the right. You see those gray boxes here, so you slide. So you've got your favorites. Your favorites are your first 2 pages, and these are really mainly what you need. I don't believe you have much use going to anything else. As you can see, up on top here is an all off mode. We don't have an all on or day mode or night mode. We kept it simple by just only adding an all off. So if you slide and you look at modes, all off will appear. You have also a control panel. So there you see some other little circuits that are not on the first page, but mainly all of them are on the first page. Here's one, for example, the Wi-Fi, which is already, no, it's not activated. So to activate that, you turn it on here. You go to this part here and then turn it on. So you have 3 cables and a 12-volt outlet, which is usually located by the satellite dish, and that is ready to go for your modem to plug in. So at time of handover, we always activate this for you, so you don't have to go into the system to turn the Wi-Fi on, because that one on standby will not use anything at all. So as I said, mainly all of, if not all of the circuits are all on the first page. Monitoring gives you again information about the house battery and about the vehicle battery, solar, main starter and inverter, and the tank level. So you have exactly the same information on the second main page. It is only a different format. So again, there is no need for you to get into this page. Inverter charger could be an interesting to look at when you run the inverter. So you see exactly how much is coming into your charger, how much you're drawing, how many amps you're drawing out of your charger, and how many, if any, excess amps will be going into the battery, or if you actually start sucking out of your battery that you're using with your hair dryer or your electric kettle, if you're actually drawing more out than coming in. So then you would actually see how much you're depleting your battery. You also see it on the first page, on the second page, so to speak, where your battery level is. You can also watch that. It will show you 100%, 99%, 98%, 97%. It will go down if you use a microwave, a hair dryer, or other things you plug into mains. So there are 2 ways to manage that. Alarms, it's just a list of any alarms that will come up. You have got critical alarms, important alarms, standard alarms, warnings, and the history of it. So anything like a fuse is blown, your water levels are low, your battery levels are low, anything like this will be coming up with a box acknowledge. So all you have to do, you click acknowledge and it will go away. However, it will from there on go into the history of the computer system. So within the battery is a little computer chip, and it will basically store all this information and all the warnings. So it is very easy for a technician to scan the battery and then know exactly what has happened. And you see the history, most of it is logged. So we don't really want you to go into these things. We don't want you to calibrate anything. We don't want you to worry about uploading software. All of these things on the setting page is basically off limit. Everything will be updated when you do your annual house check. When you come for your once a year check, they will also make sure that your CZone is up to date, that they scan it, and that they deal to anything they might need to deal to, and that the software is all up to date as well. And that's it. It is very, very simple. Now your lithium batteries are lithium phosphorus ion lithiums. So you do not need to worry that there might be a fire hazard when you store them or when you want to keep them being plugged in at home. They are very safe batteries. They don't have the heavy metals in them that cause chain reactions at time to ignite fire. So you can be rest assured that you're in good hands with our Mastervolt power system and the brilliant lithiums they offer. Happy motorhoming!